Let's say good morning to
98.1 FM and
okay.
AM 1220.
To Charmine Navarro, who is the program coordinator for Henry Mayo's Community Education Office. That's a big title. I don't know. Can they get that on a name tag?
No, they don't.
Okay.
It's actually, they usually just put the registered nurse after
Oh, okay.
that. So.
You are here to talk about the importance of blood donations.
Correct.
During the pandemic, everything, all roads lead back to the pandemic, right? During the pandemic, I think a lot of people were afraid to go to a blood donation station. They just didn't know what to expect. They didn't know if they'd get COVID, if they'd get sick. I think probably one of the reasons there may or may not be a shortage. Is there a shortage of blood right now?
There's definitely a shortage right now, and we see this a lot. I work closely with the American Red Cross, and we host blood drives, but we have seen a decrease initially. People just aren't getting out there, don't know what the process is, don't know the safety of it. However, the American Red Cross and most blood donation sites have made it very safe for you to donate blood. I've done it every 56 days that I can. I've donated blood. And one of the things that I want to put out there is the pandemic has made it a little bit less convenient for people to go, I think, because a lot of people stayed home or whatever it may be. But I want to always point out the importance that, there's some statistics out there I think people should know. I love giving numbers.
I
I'll
love
tell you.
numbers. Go. Yeah, give it to us.
Every 2 seconds, someone in the U.S. is in need of blood products.
2 seconds.
Every 2 seconds. So if you think of how much blood we give out, the American Red Cross supplies 40% of all blood across the United States. But I'm here today because I want to tell you, American Red Cross supplies Santa Clarita Henry Mayo Hospital 90% of our blood. They're also the primary blood supplier. So say you don't go to Henry Mayo, but you live in this community. Mm-hmm. We also have a lot of Kaiser patients and Holy Cross. Mm-hmm. American Red Cross is the number one source of blood for all those facilities in Santa Clarita. But only 3% of eligible donors actually give blood. So when we look at that and we think of how every 2 seconds somebody needs blood. And, we don't always think about why we give blood. People know for trauma. But I brought you some statistics to know just at Henry Mayo Hospital alone, we use over 400 units of blood products every month. So if we're only and right now we only have about a half a day supply on the shelves.
When you say a unit, is that one of those bags?
So unit of blood, we call them a unit, and you can have different products. There's actually red blood cells, which most people know that's the number one donation. But we also get platelets, which I know, Tori, you're a big donor, so thank you so much for that. But platelets are like the glue people need. That helps you clot your blood if you get cut, if you're anemic. Some people need that. So platelets are another one. We also give plasma and what we call cryo. So when you have a person that's a trauma, my background was in the emergency room, trauma patients that start bleeding out. I had a patient that got over 100 units of blood to save her life, and it saved her life. If we don't have that blood, she would have died. So the importance of blood donation, we think of trauma, but we also, like we talked, a lot of cancer patients need blood products. So knowing that we only have a half of a day's supply right now on the shelves is kind of scary.
It's huge. I mean, it's how do we, let's stop right here and how do we get people to get back into a routine of donating? I know a lot of people used to have donations at their work, and now that they're not working, they're working remotely, that's been taken away.
Correct. So we're trying to, like Henry Mayo, we're trying to promote. We have next month, March 4th, we're doing a blood drive with the Red Cross at the Henry Mayo Health and Fitness Center in community education. It's a donation I sponsor. And then we're doing another one on March 14th at the hospital all day long. So you can always go to the blooddonor.org. It's redcrossblood.org. And look for local drives. It doesn't have to be a Henry Mayo drive. We just want people to get in and donate blood. It's a simple process. You sign up, you go when it's convenient to you. They have any blood drive, they have nurses and they have blood technicians that will make your experience as easy as possible. And you get free snacks afterwards.
Which is, hello, can we just talk about the favorite part? Come on. You're helping someone and then you get cookies. Win-win?
Yeah, I think it's a
mean-
win-win.
Hello? I mean, I'm in for the Lorna Doones. I don't know about you, but
Oh, I like the little Chips Ahoy and the
See?
Cheez-Its, whatever it may be, I will.
so it's a win-win. I mean, you do help someone. Now, I've never had when I give blood, it's first of all, anyone who's ever taken my blood, I have to tell you, has been the sweetest, kindest. I've never had anyone in a bad mood. I don't know if they're just so grateful that we're coming in. They've always been so kind and so sweet, and the experience has been very quick, by the way, too. What does it usually take, like 20 minutes from start to finish?
Depending on the person and how fast they pump their blood, I can tell you I have one of the records. I can donate a unit of blood in less than 5 minutes. Okay, not necessarily the best way to do it because you're more likely to pass out, but I'm on a race. But most people, the longest I've ever seen somebody there is 20 to 30 minutes.
Our owner, Carl Goldman, when he used to give blood, used to challenge us because I guess he was telling us some of the secrets. He would drink water. There are a couple of different secrets, I guess, and he would challenge us and he would try and win. He would make it a
Exactly.
competition, and clearly you're in that category.
I am in that category.
So it can be as it can take maybe 5 minutes up to 20 minutes. It's you lay down, you have snacks afterward, and we are in such desperate need. Is there a type of blood that we need especially? What do we need?
Okay, so here's the thing is we need all types of blood. So a lot of people have heard, there's two factors that we look at when it comes to blood. We have the ABO factor, what type blood you are, and then the RH factor. Do you have RH factor in you, or are you positive or negative? So we have the universal donor is O negative.
Mm-hmm.
But an O negative person can give to any blood type, but they can only get O negative. The universal recipient is AB positive. They can get any blood type. However, because we're in such a shortage, what we do try to do is that O negative blood is given for those emergency situations, those traumas. When we have the Saugus shooting, when we have any accident out here, those, if they need blood, they get O negative blood right away. Then they type and screen and can give you more specific. So we need every kind of blood out there. I'm B positive. It needs to be used. It can be typed and screened for a cancer patient that needs it.
My blood type's a little smarter than yours. It's A plus. A positive. A little bit smarter than yours. You're only a B plus. We asked Andrew, our producer, a couple seconds ago, and shame on him, he didn't even know what kind of blood he has.
Well, we're going to get him at one of our drives, and they will tell you what kind of blood you are. So that's another thing you can learn. They do screen you. Don't come if you're feeling sick. What some of the things you can do, you mentioned water. A lot of things, what they do check is if you're anemic, they check your iron level, and you have to be above a 12.5. And a lot of people, sometimes you're deferred if you're below that. One of the things I learned from the American Red Cross is don't drink a lot of tea or coffee the day before. It can actually lower your iron level. Not quite sure the mechanisms, but yeah, there's lots of things that you can do. We need all blood types right now. Anybody who can donate. Part of the problem right now with the challenge in the pandemic I want to mention is staffing. Mm-hmm. There are less drives right now because the big companies aren't hosting them. The high schools are one of the biggest sources of blood. And
Are they not hosting right now?
Not hosting right now. And one of the things I will say is look at where you're going. Do you live in this community? Look at your blood drives that you're going to, because Santa Clarita is a generous community. We have outside groups coming in, and the blood doesn't stay in Santa Clarita. So in a case of an emergency, who are you donating to? We do have some groups that beside Red Cross that give blood. Know where you're giving blood and how it's going to affect you. But if we can get, the research shows that at 16, you can start donating blood with parental consent. By 17, you don't need parental consent. And the research has shown that the students that start donating blood in high school are more likely to regularly donate blood through their life. So trying to encourage people to donate blood. Again, I mentioned I'm a recipient. I wouldn't be alive today if someone hadn't donated blood. So I am here to encourage people to say it's a pretty simple thing you can do, and you can save a life. If you have a loved one, remember, that has cancer, they may not get your blood product, but you're helping somebody else, and all
yeah.
comes back.
Yes, exactly. We help others who can help us, and it's round robin. One question I do have for you: years and years ago, and I don't know if this is still something that is on the rule books. I went in to give blood, and they ask a question, and again, you have to keep me up to date. This may not be a thing anymore. I remember I had gone to the dentist for a cleaning the day before, and they turned me away. They said, "No, you've been to the dentist. Sorry, you can't give blood." And I said, "But I didn't have it. Like, it was just a cleaning. There wasn't any big thing or anything." And they turned me away. Now, is that still a thing?
I'm not 100% sure. I haven't heard that, but honestly, you can go and look what our exclusion criteria is.
Gotcha.
Like, they'll still ask you about travel, but there's a lot more leniency, because what they do is every time you give a unit of blood, they're testing your blood.
Gotcha.
They're testing your blood for all different factors, all different infections and things of that nature. So you may give blood and then they find something wrong with it at the time. They're not going to send it out.
Gotcha.
But you can always go look up at the Red Cross, redcrossblood.org, and the redcrossblood.org is a great resource to look at what the exclusion criteria are. Like, some people say, "Oh, I'm on medications." That doesn't exclude you. I'm a diabetic. That doesn't exclude you. So there's a lot of things that, I had a tattoo. There's some criteria for that, but so there are certain exclusion criterias. But again, the best place to look is going to the redcrossblood.org, and they can definitely help you with
Fantastic. We're talking to Charmine Navarro, who is the program coordinator for Henry Mayo's Community Education Office, talking about blood donations. The next two coming up, can you repeat those dates for us?
Yes, absolutely. March 4th at the Henry Mayo Fitness and Health Center in Community Education, which is off of Town Center Drive. And it's from 12 to 6 p.m. You can sign up on the Red Cross or give us a call, and we can help you. And then March 14th at the main campus of Henry Mayo Hospital from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Please give blood. Please, please, please. If you can, please do it. It's not a big deal. And you get cookies, man. Come on.
And you're giving back. You're saving a life.
You're saving a life. It's a win-win. Charmine, you're the best. Thank you for
so
coming in. Super appreciate it. Have a great day.